Welcome back to the Disrupt Project podcast. It has been a couple of weeks since we've last hopped on, and a few things have been going on in our world, but also kind of feels like nothing at all, which we'll probably dive into a little bit throughout today's episode. But we might just do a little check-in to begin with.
I feel like it's been a while since we've done one, just us. Have we? Has it been a while? Maybe not.
It has been a while. The last couple were guests.
Yeah.
And then we've had a couple of weeks off.
Yeah.
Because of XYZ. But
been a while between chats.
It's like a long time.
Let's dive in.
Forgot how to do it.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah. Now, it's been a bit of a weird season. And I don't think just for us. I think people we've kind of spoken to have been a little bit of the same, going through the same season, I guess. Whether, a bit of change, whether it's winter thrown into the mix as well. And then I guess just trying to slow down in some areas. And I don't know. It's been weird.
It's like it's almost like a season of like, kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
Just a what the fuck season.
What the fuck season.
So, we're just
I think I've had so many chats with people literally within the last week. They're like are so thrown off by winter. And it is mostly females that I've been talking to. And I think like embracing the change and embracing your inner winter is not something that any of us have ever been taught.
No.
Really growing up. And a lot of people just like throw it off as like seasonal depression, which in a way it kind of can be. But it's like, no, as females, this kind of is a space where you are meant to go a little bit inwards.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean like just completely stop doing everything and stay inside and
use it as an excuse to do something. Yeah.
But it's like embrace that change, slow down a little bit, like just stop the hustle and bustle and like the unnecessary.
Well, I think we were talking about this the other day, is that it's still like you can still do the things that you need, you need to show up and do, but it's just, I guess, embracing where you can slow down in the things you don't need to be doing.
Yeah.
And I guess it comes down to probably just more like socialization things and just like really loving your own space a little more, loving being home and that sort of stuff, I guess, like where, because you can still, we obviously all still have work and training and all the things in between that we need to do, but just being okay with, adding a bit more stillness in where you can too.
Yeah.
And
I think like a struggle for me has been getting up in the morning.
It's always a challenge.
Always a challenge. Like in summer, I'm up at 5 and like raring to go. Like it's easy.
Yeah.
I have been struggling so much with it. To the point like last week, I think I went to the gym twice because I was just like, I just kept snoozing. And then by the time I looked at my alarm and I was like, I'm going to get up. I was like, oh, well, too late now. I've missed it. But this week I am like, no, I'm just going to probably give myself a little sleeping in the mornings and train in the afternoons. Just like switch up that routine and see if that works and adapt it to the weather. Because as females, like we are in our inner winter. So we kind of want more of that warmth and comfort.
Yeah.
And shocking yourself into like go at 5 in the morning might not be the way that your body's going to like adapt at the moment.
I've noticed that even with like even just coming down to like foods you're consuming and that sort of thing, like going more towards the really like nurturing like warm sort of foods instead of things being like cold as well. And it's like I'm such a cold frog as it is, so it's just like I don't know, embracing being warm and like really I guess like nurturing yourself a little bit more. For me, like it's definitely been harder getting up in the morning, but like movement in the morning is like, I don't know, that just sets me up for the day.
Yeah.
I notice it just helps my brain switch on, and I think it's just like it's kind of like my form of meditation in a way some days as well. It's just like, that's the thing I go and do for myself, and I know how much better I feel after it versus, if I wake up a bit slower and I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like I have a slower. Takes a while for my brain to then switch on to then get into work and stuff, which isn't like, that's not even a bad thing. Like that's definitely nice every now and then too, and needed.
But when you've got a job that you actually have to switch on for as well, like
Yeah.
you kind of need to set yourself up for that.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That regard. And I find, I think how my brain works too is like it definitely gets to a point in the afternoon where it starts to like die. So it's like if I can get that going earlier in the morning, then like when it does taper down in the afternoon, then I'm like, cool, I've got all the stuff I need to done for the day instead of trying to keep it going past this point sometimes too. So but even that, and then like not feeling guilty for that, for like, you know, it gets to that certain time and it's like just allow yourself to slow down a little bit more in the afternoon too, and go to bed a bit earlier, and
showing yourself some kindness.
Some kindness.
Yeah. It probably also does tie into like what other people are doing might not work for you.
Yeah.
And what has worked for you before might not work for you right now. Like, just try different little things. Like my routine 6 months ago, like it probably ties into my whole thing of like, what am I doing right now? But I was so like set on my routine. And then that was thrown out like a few months ago. And ever since then, I've been like struggling to get back on top of it. And like now I'm in that phase and I'm like, I don't know if it's not working for me or I'm just like struggling to get that momentum back.
What do you find, is it things you lean on when you kind of fall in a bit of a rut with your routine, and things that you come back to that help you, that you trial?
Like prior, it was like really prioritizing my like movement, and then like my meditation stillness practices. But I think the motivation to do those things right now is just like at a bare minimum. But it's almost like you just need to fucking do it. Like, which today is that day. I was like, I had yesterday, I did the run, 11:11. It's the distance, and I was like, okay, this is a sign. Like, you need to just like use this as like a start fresh point. And then today I woke up and I just slept in a bit, but then I was like, as soon as I woke up, I went for a walk. I come back, I meditated, and then I got ready and did like my day. And then this afternoon I'm like, I'll go to the gym. So it's just like, I just have to fucking do it.
There's it's an interesting concept because I feel like there's a fine line, and it takes, like, obviously men and women are very different in this too. And, you know, with our cycles and that, we ebb and flow so much with like energy throughout that. And for so long, I definitely held that more masculine frame and like tried to keep up, I guess, with that. And then, you know, now it makes sense why I would be so exhausted at certain times as well. And there's a fine line, and it definitely takes practice in working out your body and knowing, I guess, your own signals within your body and knowing where that line is for you. But it's also like that self-awareness piece within yourself, and it's just like knowing when you can call yourself out versus knowing when you are actually at your limit and when you do need to listen to your body as well. And it's not, I think, you know, some people can just like, you can come back and be like, nah, stop completely. But it's like, how can you just what ways can you adapt that into, maybe it's like you're still ticking those things off that you need to do, but maybe it's just in a different way or a different form for that day or for that week or something like that. So, but it's really tricky because it's like that mental piece sometimes in the morning. You're just like, is it just cold and I really don't feel like doing this, and maybe I didn't get as much sleep as I really wanted to, like, so I could just need to push past this, or like, you know, where am I at my body? Like, what am I actually feeling in my body? Like, that fine line, I feel like it's taken so long to like know how to read that. And, you know, sometimes I still don't always get it right either. I come back home sometimes after training, I was like, I shouldn't have gone. I shouldn't have gone that hard.
And then sometimes you're like, oh no, I actually have to do this.
And like so often that is the case. It's like, I don't fucking feel like getting up at 4:30, like, and it's cold outside and you just like, you know, bed's heaps more appealing. But it's like, then you do come back and you're just like, cool, I'm so glad that I did that. And it's just like, rarely do you ever regret it. So it's trial and error. And I think, working out how to read your body, how to feel into that, how to be honest with yourself in certain situations as well.
Yeah. I think the honest conversations is really like where it's at, because you can like, getting over your mind is like the biggest battle.
Yeah.
Like I had a battle with my mind every single morning last week when my alarm went off at 5 and it instantly was just like, nope, snooze, like without even thinking. Yeah. And then you'd wake up and you'd kind of get stuck in that vicious cycle of, I should have got up. Like, and then you get to the afternoon and it's like, oh, you've got all these plans so you actually can't like fit in the necessities.
Yeah.
And it depends like what sort of gyms and everything you go to and whatnot. And like the meditation that was a full excuse on my behalf. That can fit in anywhere. The gym, not so much because it's like set times I can go. And if I can't go, I can't go.
Yeah.
But the mindful practices, yes, that's definitely a big excuse.
I think it's like in those moments, like how can you set yourself up better? So like whether that is like getting your clothes out in the morning or like, you know, setting up your little meditation like station for the morning, so it's like you literally can just get out of bed, go do that thing, and there's like the only mental battle is you getting up and then it's like everything else is prepped and ready to go.
Yes.
And you're setting yourself up. Yeah. So it's like those little things. But I feel like it's easy the busier you get, or, you know, the other things we distract ourselves with or that sort of thing, is like the mindfulness is so easy to drop off sometimes.
Oh, it is.
And for me, like that's the first thing to drop off for me sometimes. Yeah. Quite often that'll be the first thing. So it's like
funny, it's like the easiest things to drop off, but it's actually the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
yeah.
How easy is it to sit down or lay down, put on a meditation, whether it be guided, non-guided, like whatever it is, and just sit there.
Like, even just coming back to like just checking in with like your thoughts like before you go to bed. That's like one of my biggest like struggles sometimes, is like when it is such a season of like being a bit busier and trying to juggle things, and it's like I could easily work right up until I go to sleep. Yeah. However, that's not the healthiest thing. And like I don't know, I ebb and flow. Like sometimes I prefer to do the stuff in the morning. Sometimes I like to do it at night to kind of switch between like, you know, you finish work, do dinner, have a shower. I might do a little bit more work that I've got to finish up, but then go in to do, like the kind of wind down routine. And it's nice to kind of just check in with like what's come up that day or like what you've been feeling. And you kind of just like sometimes you just write and it's just like whatever comes out, or like you just jot it down. It's just like really nice like cap and like way to end the day sometimes as well. That little self check-in. So it's like, even if it's, I don't know, some days it can be hard. It is like, I guess working out that thing of like committing to yourself and those practices that make you feel good. However, sometimes like they interchange with what you need as well. Yeah. And it's like, it's not like you have to do the meditation, do journal, do your card pull, do your bloody 10-minute breath work, go do your ice bath. Like you don't have to do all the things. No. Like it's okay to I guess whatever the word is, like use all different ones depending what you need.
Yeah, and some days if you're feeling like you've got a lot of energy left, like maybe sitting down and doing a meditation isn't going to help, but doing like more of a somatic release will help you. So whether that be like you could scream, you can like there's a lot you can do. You can actually like stand up and you can like shake your entire body and just like get it out that way. And that helps just really release all that extra energy. Yeah. Because I think a lot of people look at it and go, oh, meditation, I just have to sit there and be still. And if you're in that state of like hyper arousal or you've got like ADHD, ADD, that might not be the best thing for you to do either, because that might just send your nervous system into a state of like,
or even doing that first and then coming back to your meditation. I don't know. Everyone also says that they can't meditate when they first start meditating. Yeah. I said that because I was like, I can't meditate. I can't sit still. Yeah. It's like you just so like resistant to the stillness. Yeah. You're like, no. But yeah, 100%. Like what are ways that you could like move that through your body first and then come back to that little practice perhaps as well.
There's so much you can do.
So much you can do.
Yeah, just catching yourself out. And it's fine to go through those moments of like, it's just fun to go through the moments, to be honest. Like you're not going to be on 24/7. Yeah. I mean, if you are, like, good on you. Like hats off to you if you can just be on 24/7. But like when you do the work, it's just not, you're not going to always have good days, good seasons. Like you're going to ride that wave.
Speaking of which, let's go into our season. Expanding from what we're talking about. So where have you been at lately? Tell us. Let's unpack our own shit.
I probably had a really big realization this week of probably why I'm in this little bit of like this weird period. Because with the breathwork course that I'm doing at the moment, it's almost like it's like coaching intertwined with the learning side of it. And we really tapped into trauma and the two states that your body goes in to when you experience it. And I think with the last job I did, I was quite traumatized by it.
Yeah.
I think, I took on a lot. And I think when I was in that, I was in the state of like hyper arousal. So I was just like constantly go, go, go. I wouldn't let myself slow down because my nervous system was like, if you do that, like you're going to be in danger.
Yeah.
So it was like a running away sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just kept myself so busy. I reckon I did that for like 2 months straight. And then when I stopped doing that, which is kind of around like a month ago, I went back into hypoarousal, which is like almost a state of nothingness.
Yeah.
So your body, like you might notice like if you have like a fight with someone, a little bit after you just like completely disassociate and you just like can't really do anything. You just got to sit there and just like process what's happened. But I feel like I've been doing that for like almost 2 months now. So I'm probably putting that down to like the series of events that's followed up until now. But it's very nice to be aware of it and be like, and I do finally feel like I'm kind of, I think last week was like the tip of everything where I probably needed my week to just kind of do a bit of nothing. And now I'm just like, okay, that's what's happened. Let's unpack that. Let's move through it and release it. Because I probably haven't released it either. I kind of just was like, oh yeah, I've left the job, onto a new one. This is really good. Done. Dusted. So it doesn't matter how much work you've done, you still you still forget sometimes.
Well, see, even our, those past resistances that we've had, they just still come up in different ways as well. So it's like we still have to catch ourselves like in that.
Bit of an ego battle probably.
Yeah.
It was like,
and a protection thing too of, what you've done in the past coming back up too. So
it's not, you're not going to like move through it once and then it be healed forever. Like it's going to pop up here and there. But yeah, definitely I kind of was like, oh, I've probably battled the ego and like tried to deal with it internally. But I like fell back on like old resources of just like avoiding.
Makes sense.
Coaching call tonight. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably that's probably me right now.
So you feeling better this week?
I do, even today.
Feeling
like
some of that? Yeah.
I know like it can't all be fixed in one day, but like I feel so much better. And that's purely because I woke up and was like, all right, let's get this shit done.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Like enough of the excuses, enough of the running. Like let's get on top of it. Like I've got so many resources in my corner that I'm not utilizing. Like let's fix it.
Do you think, obviously we had an event on the weekend as well, and I find this as well because obviously we're both still working, like doing study and while, branching into like this space as well. Do you find like when we're able to do our events and like lean into the space where we're obviously our purpose is to be, that it like brings you back to that as well? It helps you kind of like recenter in a way? Because I notice that within myself. It's like you can get caught up in the week to week in the, just the mundane sort of stuff. And that was probably a realization for me. It's like, fuck, I remember like when I first like had all these changes and everything was like, I was navigating all this stuff and everything was new. And then I was like, doing this, making this choice, making this move. But it's kind of like of lately, although I've got all these things happening, it's like that I guess that old stuff's still there, and like you can get a bit caught up in that sometimes. And I guess kind of like losing your focus of where you're actually wanting to be. For me anyway.
No, I do agree with that, because it's like if you're not practicing it like all the time, then you kind of just lose sight a little bit of it.
I don't know. It's just, every time we have like the events or, you know, I have like a coaching call and stuff, and it's like you can have a day busy like doing all the other stuff, and then it's just like, that's like where my focus is meant to be. Like, and it kind of like snaps me back into that, and I'm just like, cool, like, what am I doing over here?
Yeah.
It's like, let's refocus that a little bit more.
Okay, what can I do outside of this event to like hurry this process up a little bit? Yeah.
And it just, I don't know. It takes me back, I think, into like the times where you'd like sit in that place of like being in something you're really unhappy with for so long. And it's like, it's not like I'm unhappy with like my other work that I do now. Like, I do enjoy it, but it's just like you just know what you're meant to be doing.
Yeah.
And there's that difference. So, but it's like, it just takes me back to like sitting in that space of like being so unhappy, yet not really changing anything at that time as well. And you just stay in that. And it's just like you just stay in that, you just stay in that, you just stay in that. And it's like, it's no wonder all these other like pillars of your life kind of start to like dwindle down, because like your energy is just being absolutely sucked from the life of you, because you're not in any way, I guess, like living in your purpose or living in like alignment with what you're meant to be doing or what you should be doing for yourself. And it's like branches into all these areas. I don't know, that just rambled on, but that was like, I was reflecting on this the other day.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Is that kind of the state that you've been in at the moment? Because you said, like, I think we've both been in a state of...
Yeah, I've been a bit weird.
What's been going on?
Yeah, I don't even know. It's like, I think probably a bit of that, like, I had a lot of like study and then like all these different like hats going on, and then I, you know, kind of had this realization that I was separating all the hats. They weren't necessarily all just like, I was segregating them within myself. So it's like I couldn't just like, it's all of me, obviously, what I'm doing in like all areas of my life. However, I was kind of compartmentalizing them in the past. So I had that realization, which was great. And then, definitely, you know, been working towards things and aligning things. However, I did find that it's just easy to get caught up in the week to week stuff. Yeah. I guess of just the initial, you know, like just making sure your bills are paid and, you know, you're ticking off the things and the commitments that I've made prior. So you're like getting certain projects done and out the way. However, it's like I just noticed like energetically they definitely take away from like what I want to be doing. And like, I guess having like the creativity to go towards like that sort of stuff, because that is quite draining then on my energy and like, I guess, capacity.
Yeah.
So it's that hard line where it's just like, I know the steps in what I have to do to get there. It's just this kind of like in between period at the moment that I'm trying to navigate.
But it makes sense as well, because it's like, although you don't hate what you're doing outside of your coaching and your business side of things, like it's still like, it's almost like this like cloud that sits over you because it takes so much more effort and more brain power to like pull yourself up and show up for those things, because it's not your purpose anymore. Like you've unlocked that, and like it's sitting there like a shiny little like toy or like something, and it's like, oh, I really want to go do that, but I got to get all this done first because like this pays the bills, and like
and don't get me wrong, there's levels to that where, you know, I've sat with like things like other things I need to go all in on, like when can that be? When do I need to do that sort of thing? However, there's certain stuff I've like committed to that I just have to do for the time being, which is fine. And it's like I was saying before, like some stuff is kind of wrapping up, which will then allow me to and I've got to make the decision with not take on other stuff to fill that.
Yes.
So I've got to put that energy once that's done towards then the stuff I want to do.
Being very conscious.
Yeah.
About not saying yes.
Yeah.
Just because habitual type of
thing. But it's been interesting. Yeah. Noticing, I guess having those old thoughts sort of come up again, and like noticing it's just like, but like in the same breath, like it's great because I can reflect now on like how long I actually sat in that, and like I just wasn't doing anything. Yeah. Like now, like I'm doing stuff which I still enjoy.
Yeah.
However, it's nowhere near that level, and I'm also doing all this other stuff which I'm moving towards, and I'm still actioning.
Yeah.
It's just like at a little bit of a slower pace than what I would love. And that's part of that. I guess part of the pieces in the past have been some resistance around certain parts of them. However, the more I step into those areas, like they're definitely like that becomes less and less and less as well. So it's like I know my ability and I know my capabilities now. It's just coming down to navigating all of that.
Do you think like getting clear on everything you wanted to do and sort of let go of like helped for you, like really like nutting down the details?
That was a big part of it because I had done I think as well, it was like we can go do all these courses and we can go learn all this stuff about ourselves and about like I guess just wherever we're going and whatever we're like moving into. And what I found anyway was that it was kind of, I had all this new information and it was super exciting and I just wanted to share all of it. However, like I was struggling to know how to like break it down for other people to be able to, to be able to teach people with that as well. And it was like I was getting like kind of like locked with that because I was like, how do I break this down? Like there's so much up here. And that's the thing, there's so much in my fucking brain. So it's like my issue is that I was trying to kind of like filter it and piece it together before even getting it out. And Jacob actually helped me like just literally getting a whiteboard.
Yeah.
Love a whiteboard session. But literally just getting a whiteboard and kind of doing this like mapping out like with this, and it's just like not even having to think about anything before I write it out, like just writing out these certain words of, what I want, these things to encompass within like coaching or within like offers and that sort of thing, like in the future. And it's like, coming out with like, what's that going to include? And it's just like single words, but then it's like breaking down like, what's the answer then for those things, or like how can that be expanded and that sort of thing. So that helped massively. Instead of me sitting there with like a blank piece of paper and being like, right, how do I get everything that's in here out and make it make sense?
Yeah, because then you start writing something and then eventually like 2 sentences in, the topic's changed.
Yeah.
And then you get to the end and you're like, oh, that's quite confusing, or that's too much information.
Yeah.
And too many different pieces of information without actually being like, okay, like this is self-love. This is what it means.
Yeah.
Like this is how to sort of incorporate it.
And then
it's like just you have so many different.
That's so hard. And I think, there was that part of it, but then there was also the part of it where just like I hadn't really slowed down much to like allow myself to process any of that.
Yeah.
Like I was still
You're a busy gal.
Still trying to juggle all those things. So a big part of that was like, okay, cool, where can I actually bring in a bit of stillness in instead of trying to like keep my brain going every weekday.
What stillness have you brought in?
Well, I went and got nature time's a big one for me. I've noticed like just putting like my phone down, not opening my fucking laptop.
like that thing goes with you everywhere.
It's attached to me. And just like getting out in nature is like huge for me. Like it shifts something and like it's like my brain, like it's like the fog clears. Yeah. And it's like, holy shit, I can think clearly, like stuff starts piecing together. I try to explain it to like Pete and I was just like, I just need nature. So like, that's all I can say. I get it. I just need nature.
The ocean and like a forest.
Yeah. And but then I think about it, right? Because then it's like, then I break it down. It's just like, okay, cool. When was I feeling my best? When like all this stuff was flowing really well. And it's like, cool. I was going like out to the beach a lot more, going ocean swims, getting a lot more sunlight. Like it's just all these small parts that it's just like you can let slip and it's just like they all add up and you don't realize sometimes until you get to that point. You're just like, oh, nothing's flowing. Like why am I kind of in this bit of a weird, like, no, I wouldn't say a complete rut, but it's just like it's a weird
season.
Weird season.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, like, what am I doing? Okay, cool. So I'm still eating well. I'm still moving. Like, I'm still keeping those commitments to myself. But, like, I hadn't really been journaling or, like, meditating and stuff. So I, like, went back into journaling, like, before bed and that sort of thing. And, yeah, just, like, getting out in nature a little bit more. And also, like, because I work at home, I can always be like listening to like music and stuff a lot throughout the day, but then it also gets really overstimulating. So I'm cautious of that a bit more now, is like incorporating literally like just nothingness and silence.
Yeah.
So like just not listening to anything is really nice. And even being more intentional, like when you're cooking dinner or like when you're eating sometimes as well. Like I've started kind of, being cautious of that at certain times where I can. And it's like eating lunch, you can like just mindlessly literally like be sitting there at your laptop and like scoffing it. It's just like you're not even like actually like taking in what you're like scoffing in your mouth. No. So it's just like actually like just taking 5-10 minutes and go sit in the sun and like eat my lunch and that sort of stuff too. So it's just the little bits and pieces. Little things. And I guess it's, when it is cold and miserable outside, it's like, I just want to stay warm. I just want to like stay snug. So I'm just going to like sit here, and it's like being more cautious of like actually still getting ready for the day and that sort of thing. Like, it would be hard to be working at home and like just not stay in your pajamas or active wear, like from the gym, just get home. Yeah. And just, like, I haven't, I've always been pretty cautious of that, but I definitely, it's definitely easy to kind of like want to work from the couch and that sort of thing with your laptop. And it's just like, then you're like a damn hunchback for the end of the day. But, pins and needles like 24/7. But it's probably been a big thing I reflect. It's just like the little things, and sleep. Just making sure. Yeah, sleep's a big one. Sleep's a massive one. Yeah. So, but I don't know. It's a bit of a I don't know. A few people I've spoken to, they're all going through a bit of a weird season, and different things are coming up. So I think the general consensus, like everyone just falls back on, oh, it's winter, like, but in a way, yes, because I think a lot of us, like, we're a beach city as well, so we're used to being out in the sun, at the beach, like in the ocean, like whenever we can get a moment. And I think for winter, you just instantly go, I can't do that. Yeah, it's like you can still get outside. Like it might be pretty cold to like swim in the ocean for like half an hour, but like challenge yourself, go for a little dip. Yeah, or like just go for a walk near the beach or something. Like if you don't actually want to get in, just get that sunshine. Yeah, and just brave it. Stop being a little bitch. Stop being a little bitch. Just to myself. Yeah. Well, you did go for a run, bloody blowing a gale. We did. I felt good after doing that. We got out there still. Yeah, we got it done. Yeah. And that's my focus anyway, is to just come back to the little things. So, and I think, like it's okay to ride through those little waves as well. Yeah. It's like sometimes you can force, I don't know, kind of, either push it down or feel like you got to force yourself to like work through it. It's just like sometimes you just got to come back to like the simple things, making sure you're ticking them off for yourself, and then it'll pass. Like, yeah, and things don't need to be rushed either. Like if you rush through trying to figure out something or unlocking something, like you almost become reliant on like that instant hit of like, I've got it. Like, and when you don't get that instantly, then you go, oh no, I'm not doing it right. I'm not working through things right. Yeah. Where it's like the integration process, like it should be quite slow and drawn out. So then you get the maximum benefit long term. Because we shouldn't always be trying to like find an issue or find a solution either. Like you can't force it either. No, I think like it'll come out when the time's right. And it's just like setting up all of like the right conditions for the answer to like come forward, because the answer will never come forward if the conditions aren't right. Yeah. Like sometimes like it's been really interesting. Like sometimes if you're like searching to find something and you're forcing it, you'll get an answer, but it actually might not be the right one. Yeah. It's just like that piece inside you that's going, oh yeah, you want it that bad? Here you go. Here's something. Yeah. Like Yeah, and it's kind of just like you're just piecing it together with what you think it should be.
What you want it to be.
What you want it to be. Yeah.
Like we might actually do a separate episode in this, but like I think my ongoing battle with eating disorders, like that's something I've been battling with like the last probably maybe not 6 months, but like a decent chunk of time.
Yeah.
But I was stuck in like trying to really find what the problem was, and I was not finding it. I was not finding it, but we're getting there. We're slowly but surely getting there. And I know a couple of people going through the same thing right now. So I think that would probably be a very powerful episode. I might even try to get someone on for that.
Dive into that.
Yeah. I think it's something that like a lot of people look at eating disorders and go, or like anorexia, and look at like super skinny people where it's like a lot of it's quite hidden.
Yeah.
And you don't understand what it is until you've really gone through it yourself, or you know someone that's gone through it. And there's so much shame behind it as well. Like you just, most people, we all hide it because it's like, I don't want to be known as someone that has an eating disorder. And it's also like, it's kind of like I shouldn't be complaining in a way as well.
I think there's no, like you can look at it, a lot of people are just like, whether you need to be eating more, eating less, whatever it is. Like it's never about the eating. Like it's everything that's underlying within that. So it's always a lot deeper than, just the surface level of like not eating whatever your situation is. So
it's the feelings behind why you're doing what you're doing. But it's like,
let's unpack that for sure.
Yes, at a different time.
Very good. Yeah, there we go. That was just a bit of probably a life update and debrief.
Where we're
at. We kind of had a topic and we're just like, it just didn't feel relevant for us.
No.
So we're just like, fuck it. Like, we'll talk about what's actually relevant for us at the moment and hopefully add some value.
Just unpacking some shit. Like we all go through it. Yeah. We all have these seasons of change and
I think
mindset shifts and
everything. There's definitely some sort of energy and shit going on at the moment because a lot of people are going through the moon. This is the moon. But like a lot of people are going through changes or like challenges in different ways, and like name that because of whatever you will. However, I think it's okay to be aware of that, and if that's also you, like you're not alone in that either. No. And shit, there's a lot of times we have conversations where we're trying to unpack the answers and find out what's going on for ourselves. However, it's just I guess that self-awareness aspect that you try to lean back on, but we also have to pull ourselves up on at times as well. And and whether it be jobs, career, relationships, like there's all different circumstances that bring different stuff and different things to the surface in different ways.
And it's like you don't want to be relying on someone all the time to like help you find the answers, but sometimes you just need someone else's perspective. Like if you've tried to sort of get the answer by yourself and it's just not coming, like reach out to someone. Just like you don't need to actually reach out and be like, help me. It's just like a simple conversation.
Like, it can literally be it's just a way people can ask you certain questions that allow you to come to the answers in yourself. It's just the way that they're asked sometimes as well. So
like maybe next time that like your friend or like someone, a family member asks you like, how are you going? Like be honest, because they might actually be able to help you. They might give you a little bit of a different perspective. Just don't be like, I'm good. Busy but good.
Busy but good.
Busy but good.
Fucking Jesus.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
I still do it.
It used to be my go-to.
Always busy.
Busy but good. You know what I mean? Gucci.
No, we're not bringing that back.
When did I say? Was that episode 1? Gucci. Tragic. Let's leave that there.
Okay, I think we need to go.
Yeah. All right.
Delulu's kicking in.
Delulu's. All right. Thanks, guys. Much love, and we'll chat to you next time.
Goodbye.